Hi guys, and greetings from cmotion HQ here in Vienna, and our final live presentation that we're running in partnership with Focus Puller at Work, the Chaos Show. Now in this session, we'll be going through the Cinefade VariND. We're going through the setup, the product, a little bit about the concept of the product and how it's used, how to do the settings on the hand unit. But we've also got online First AC Martin Larsen from Norway, who's a community manager that's using Cinefade the VariND as a regular day-to-day tool. So what I'd like to do to start with, we will look at the Cinefade itself. Now, the main unit is motorized and has the L-bus integration. So this is compatible with the C-Pro system and will be also compatible with the ARRI i5 early in 2022. On the back, we have a display and we can change the settings. So we can go between Rota Pola, VariND and the Cinefade, and you can increase increments by pressing the buttons. So it doesn't need to be used all the time with a C-Pro system. Now, in this mode, it would be a Rota Pola. So this would allow us to change reflections and lighting conditions if you're using car commercials, for example, or different shots, and you want to have an effect. Now, to do this, we'll do a demonstration. I've got one set up on the camera. Let's put this down here. And I'll show you how to set this up on the hand unit. So once you've got the Cinefade connected to the L-bus of the C-Pro system, it will automatically enter a filter mode. So we can go into our hand unit here and change the settings. Let me simply go filter mode, and we'll start with the Rota Pola. Press the home button, and now we return. So this gives me a visualization of the focus that I have, my iris, and also the percentage of my Rota Pola. So now if we check, let me rotate this one around as well, just to make it a little bit more creative. I can use the joystick. So you can assign any control axis on the C-Pro hand unit, and I can use the joystick to change the reflections that you can see happening on the lens on Woody, but also in the static filter that helps form the Cinefade VariND. So we'll just go through this a few times. You'll see this, the effect from the camera. Okay, so we've gone through the effect that you have that will be created to change the lighting and obviously reflections on the glass. Great for car commercials. Now, what I'd like to do is show you a project where the Cinefade VariND was used to control the lighting effects for a car commercial. So if we can line up the first video, sit back and see what we've done. So on this one, we're showing it's a celebration of the Bentley celebrating from its a new model, but we're changing the reflections on the car to be creative. So on the shiny paintwork of the classic car, you can see the change as the VariND, the Rota Pola, sorry, is rotating. There we go, to give the emotion and the effect. A little bit out of my price range, but the effect was there. What I'd like to do is we'll switch over to a new setting in a moment, but what I can tell you now is the settings, we've got user settings that we can program onto the hand unit, onto the C-Pro. If I go into them now, so we go into the menu, main menu, and we have here user profiles. Now this enables you to load different settings. So I've got two active here, one for the C-Vision, which was a previous demonstration, and another one for Cinefade. Now this will allow you to save all of the buttons that you've programmed. So as I've assigned here, the joystick is controlling my motor, the Cinefade VariND. I've assigned different buttons to increase increments. We'll be showing in the next presentation with the variable ND when we put them together. So if I come out of this, if I can just ask my glamorous assistant to join together. So from here, we join the static filter to the motorized filter. And then it changes from a Rota Pola to a variable ND. So this will fit in any of the ARRI LMB matte boxes. I believe we've got the 4x5, so you need the twin slot to fit in both the filters. Once it's powered, it will automatically calibrate. So this is critical to match the iris when we're doing the Cinefade effect, but also giving us accurate grading that we need for the ND. So I'll just change my setting in my hand unit now, and we will go into the filter mode. Select here, and now we go VariND. So now when I go onto our menu page, we have our ND gradient that's displayed at the top, as well as my focus information and iris. So using the joystick, I can now change the ND from 0.4 all the way through to 2.8. Now, the advantage of doing this, you're able to do it dynamically. Sorry, I'll change my image. Welcome to the Chaos Show. You're able to change the ND gradually, so it's ideal for interior to exterior transition. So going inside to outside without having to change the filter on the camera. We'll have a video coming up in a few moments that will show you this in use in a project. And I think if we can line that up now, we'll be ready to show you. I don't mind. I don't care if you need it. If you leave it now, I don't mind if you do it right. I don't mind. I don't care if you need it. If you leave it now, I don't mind if I don't mind it. We have another one coming up in a moment going the opposite and going in. So we'll see the variable ND changing dynamically as the operator is going into the cinema. So this is not something you can do with the NDs the internal NDs in a camera, of course. So it gives you a lot more creativity and a lot more flexibility. Now I'd like to say you don't need the C Pro hand unit, of course, to control these features. We have updated the software to the pan bar zoom and steady zoom. So these zoom control units can be used hardwired or wireless with a C Pro cam in, and it allows you to control the Rota Pola or ND, and it will display the positions or it will display the gradient of the ND on the zoom unit. And we will have a few videos of this soon, but also say with the cam in, this gives us a wireless connectability, so we can do this. So get my angles right. My 10th video and I'm still getting it in the wrong place. So yeah, please, if we can run VT, we've got some images. Yeah, we've got some images showing you the wireless setup. Hopefully. Oh, I was going to do the other. Okay, well, now's the time to introduce Martin Larsen. So yeah, sorry, Martin, if you'd like to join in, as I say, you've got some examples of the Cinefade VariND because you were quite an early adopter in Norway, I believe.
Yes, I was. I think I was the first one in Norway to buy the Cinefade VariND. I think it may be 3 years ago, a year after I got the C Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been like a staple tool for me ever since I got it. So super happy to have it, and it's so easy. And the DPs I work with, actually, they love it so much that they don't want to use anything else. They just want to have it in the camera all the time.
Right. So it's just the convenience, I suppose, being able to change everything remotely without having to go to the camera all the time.
Yeah. It's super convenient because you have it on the hand unit. You can just change anything you want. I can control the Cinefade VariND, or I can just give it to the DP operator. And I have it set up with the steady zoom, as you just told. So the operator can just control it on the steady zoom and like get into like really nerdy ND values with it.
Yeah. Cool. So here we've got a video that you shot, with the DP with the monitor.
Yeah, that was for a Netflix feature I did this summer. That was the prototype, by the way. It got much cooler than that, but I don't think I have a video of it.
Yeah, so you're using the C Pro cam in to connect to the wireless motor you've got on the camera.
Yeah, I can quickly show you guys if you want to see how I set it up here. Let's see here. All right. First, I've got to represent, Yeah, so Cinefade is connected to the motor, elbows. And then another elbows goes into the L cube because I use the Cine RT as well. And then we have here, we have the cam in. And the reason why I have the cam in hooked up like this is because I quickly can take it off and go totally wireless. So I can give the DP the freedom to go handheld with it, but I'm like connected to a monitor.
Sure.
And you can see all the values up here. And yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm changing it here. So yeah, it's super easy setup, and it's quick, and yeah, people love it.
Cool. So I mean, with lighting conditions and having to change lighting for different scenes, I mean, does it help at all in that aspect as well?
Yeah, for sure. Like if you go like you mentioned, like exterior to interior and all that stuff, it's super convenient for super easy to set up. So for sure,
It's definitely a worthwhile investment for you, I hope, Martin.
oh yeah. I use it. I use it every day. I put it on the camera every day, and haven't taken off since.
Fantastic. So at the moment, yeah, you're using it mainly for the Rota Pola and the variable ND setting. And with the setup you've got there, I say your DP has certainly bought into the idea of using it on every job for, I suppose, safety reasons, for speed and everything.
Yeah, and it's so quick to just. I mean, you can, of course, got the Alexa Mini back here, and it has integrated ND filters, but it's so much quicker to just because you have 1/3 of a stop, I believe, on the VariND, so you can just fine tune the ND. Yeah. So you don't have to compromise on stopping down or anything. You can just fine tune it with the ND. And it's
I mean, it's with the joystick. So depending on the control, you can go increments with the buttons on the hand unit, but also if you've got it on the joystick, totally dynamic. So there's a nice smooth you don't see step. It is a dynamic control. Yeah,
exactly. And also if I want control over it, if the DP doesn't want the control, I can just quickly two pushes of a button and I have control on my C Pro hand unit.
Cool. Well, I think, thank you ever so much for your insights. It's always good to get an AC on board and sharing practical experiences. A little bit different to us being on a trade show doing a kind of a sales demo, but it's nice to get direct feedback from you, Martin. So thank you very much for your time.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So what we'll do now, I'm going to move on to what most people know about the Cinefade VariND and know where the concept of the product, which was changing the depth of field in shot. Now, this again, it's with the two filters together, the motorized and the static, but this has to be synchronized with the lens data. So it's critical that the lens is calibrated and also the motor positioning of the ND. Now we're going to how this is set up, and we'll do a practical demonstration for you. So at the moment I'm on my VariND mode. So I'll just press the button here. We can go into filter mode, and now we come down to Cinefade mode. Now, if I go back to my display here, I have my iris control. And what I want to do is close my iris down so I find where I'm happy with my exposure. And again, saving the user profiles, I've got an increase and decrease button here, so I can increase and decrease the ND gradient. And this button I have assigned to do my Cinefade effect. So I'll just come down here, press this button. That will now set my Cinefade function. And what I want to do is actually limit my slider. Now this prevents me from going over the limits or the active range. So I'll simply assign this button here, slide my slider, and you can check optically on the monitor to make sure that there is no cutting off or color bleeding. So we can now use the slider, and if you look at the image we've got coming from the camera, you'll see the lens I'm opening up, and we are getting a shallower depth of field. Again, closing the iris, we're now getting a deeper depth of field. So effectively, you're pulling depth of field. Now, this can be passed or shared with other operators. So with a different cPro hand unit, cPro 1 or cPro LCS, you can actually pass on the Cinefade effect. It can be controlled through the thumb wheel or the focus knob or the slider, however you want that to be. And of course, the DP then has that creativity. And because of the user profile settings, it makes it much easier for you to set it up and hand it straight over, and they don't have to worry about anything. It's all ready to go. Now, I think we've got another video that we'd like to show you of this being used in a project. If I can go over to VT, thank you. Thank you very much. So as we say, there's lots of show reels available to see on the cmotion website, but another creative element that's been used now, our friends Manu Thomas and Oscar Lago from Media Pro have been working with Cat's Camera in Spain, and they've been covering the La Liga football games using the Cinefade VariND. So again, that is bringing in the element of a new way of viewing the game and getting involved, obviously watching at home. So it's something, I think they've recently won the award as well for innovative technology for sporting events. We don't have a meeting with them today, unfortunately, but we are planning to have an interview and questions and answers session that will be available to view. If not on the cmotion website, we'll put this through the Chaos Show and Focus Puller at Work. I think that concludes everything at the moment. I've got my team here. I think if we've got any questions coming through at all, if you let me know. If you want to ask a question, please do. During the live chat, please put your hand up in the message or type away, and we will get back to you on that. If you want a question or you want to contact us with any detailed questions or arranging a demonstration and a test, please email us at sales@cmotion.eu. You can contact me directly at stephen.chappell@cmotion.eu as well. Just have a quick check with the guys. Have we got any questions coming through? No, okay. That makes it nice and easy. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and focuspulleratwork.com. Of course, this is our last live video session of the 10 that we've done over the last 5 days, running through all the cPro systems, the cmotion accessories and the Pro accessories, Cinefade, and the C-Vision Focus Assist. Now, these are all available to download and view on the Focus Puller at Work website, the Chaos Show website, and of course, the cmotion website. But if there's no more questions, I would like to thank you all for joining us as a live presentation. Oh, I think we might have something coming through. There is one question. Sorry, go.
Why the Cinefade is set? Can you still change the VariND or to readjust it while you have this effect set up?
Yeah, so when you're in the Cinefade effect, so I've actually got that now. If we come to the top view, I can increase by pressing the button here and increase and decrease, so I can maintain the set range, but it allows me to change it if obviously changes in lighting conditions. So I'm just increasing here, so we've gone 5, and you'll notice the blue bar possibly from the top camera as well. This is changing and showing me that the active range is changing as I'm increasing and decreasing. So now if I got my slider here, so now we've got my changes in depth of field.
Next software version will also have that dynamic.
Oh yeah, so that's another bit of information for you guys. So with the next software release, at the moment we're doing this in increments, but again with the dynamic changing for the VariND and the Rota Pola, making those changes it would be critical, especially for the La Liga with the sports outside, because the lighting condition is, you can't control nature. So we're making it dynamic because it's a live feed. So being able to do that without seeing these increments will be something that we're looking forward to with the next software release. I think that may be it for the questions. So thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining us. Again, there are plenty more presentations coming through the Chaos Show available for the next week, but that's our main sessions finished for the week. But again, you can download everything. But before we go, we would like to say a huge thanks and all the best for the production to Martin. I think you're getting ready for another job. Yep, cool. So thank you very much, and hopefully see you guys at a trade show soon. Bye for now.